Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome again to my channel. If you are new here, I say ahlan wa sallam. Wish me welcome. I'm Mariam and I do Islamic lifestyle video and I'm also an entrepreneur. And my mission is for you to love Allah because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love you the best. So today we're going to talk about understanding the Quran with me and we are still on Suratul baqara. Yeah. So we're going to discuss today about inshallah verse 35 and verse 36 inshallah. So what are we waiting for? Let's go through the video right away. So we are reciting now verse 35. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say وَقُلْنَا يَا آدَمْ سَكْنَ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ جَنَّةً وَكُلَا مِنْهَا رَغَدًا هَذِهِ شَيْئُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَا هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةَ فَتَكُونَا مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it in verse 35 that, and we said, O Adam, dwell you and your wife in paradise, and eat therefrom in ease, and abundance from wherever you will. But do not approach this tree, lest you be among the wrongdoer. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanding the reason why in the main meaning of those two verses is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the in those two verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala command Adam, our forefather, right? Adam, that Adam and Eve to eat for certain tree and they have access to most of the provision that Allah have provided them, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell them to not go around certain tree and forbid them to not. So this or the two verses is the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Adam, to Adam and his wife Hawa, which we call in English Eve. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that you will be do not and when you eat from this tree, you are going to be among the wrongdoer. So let look at verse 36. What did Allah say in it? So in verse 36, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Bada A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. فأزلهما الشيطان عنها فأخرجهما مما كان فيه وقلنا اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين. In Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling in verse 36 here that he said, but Satan, which is Satan, but Satan caused them to slip out of it and remove them from that condition in which they have been. And we say, go down, all of you, as enemy to one another, and you will have upon the earth a place of settlement and provision for a time. Allahu Akbar. So after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have, gave instruction in verse 35 that all children, I mean Adam and Eve, eat for certain tree, and then they have access to the provision to eat from a tree, and then Allah subhanahu forbidden to not eat from a certain tree. Then shaitan, like Allah subhanahu warned us, shaitan is our worst enemy. Wallahi, shaitan fight out on a daily basis. May Allah protect us from shaitan. Shaitan can come in front of him, can use your even people that are close to you. Shaitan can use those people against you. Either turn you away from Allah or make you to feel like you are not on the straight path or you are not on your your drop your imam, because you want to fit in society, you know. So, but Allah subhanahu is telling all that now. When He commanded Adam and Eve to eat, for certain fruit, and commanded to not do certain thing, but Shaitan came and make them to do the same thing that Allah subhanahu told them to not do. And how the Shaitan did it? Shaitan beautified it. That you eat from this tree, you're going to have power, you're going to do this, you're going to be more than Allah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. So Shaitan beautify things, our desire. Things that is forbidding, Shaitan beautify it for us so that we will follow him. So this is how, even sin begin because, our forefather, which is Adam and Eve. So Allah subhanahu commanded to do something and to not do another thing. That very thing they did it. That very thing they did it. But and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but because Adam plead to Allah, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even the first, like when you listen to my other my videos, the other one, you have not yet watched about the scenes throughout the baqara, the other verses when Allah said he was going to create, mankind and the shape. I mean, as stuff all the angels say, oh, are you going to, and all of those things is in the video. So the very thing that Allah want, Adam to not do, he did it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Kafur, he's the most forgiving. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that Adam was still going to, disobey him, because he's the all knowing and all seeing. He knows. But this is a test for every one of us. I mean, it's a warning or lesson for every one of us that whenever we sleep, we always should try to go back to Allah and plead to Allah and ask for his forgiveness. So Adam pleaded to Allah and asked Allah subhanahu for his forgiveness. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, yeah, but you are in paradise, you did this, you are going to go back in the like, on the earth now, in the world, So Allah sent them in the world now and say, you're going to live here, we're still going to provide for you. Yeah, Allah said we're still going to provide for you. You're going to still have access to all of the provision, but you are only going to stay from here. You are only going to stay here for a while. So you are not going to last forever. So even in this ayah is telling all that we human, we are not here to last forever. We are going to go back to where our soul came from. Our soul was with Allah before it entered in the womb of our mother, and we are going to go back to where we came from, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one that have right over our life. So this is how I come to the end of those two verses, and then I'm gonna see you inshallah in my next video, which is Suratul baqara, which we're talking about. It's gonna be verse 37 and 38. Inshallah, do not miss that episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. If you see this video on my YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe. And if you see on my Facebook page, please also share it and give your comment. And what do you think about those two ayat? And please, I'm meant to be corrected if I didn't recite the Quran good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.